I'm David Garrett, and I'm one of the organizers at the Institute for Primary Facts. We're a pro-democracy 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Washington, D.C. You know, the idea behind this exhibit was to generate attention that we hope would pressure the Department of Justice to release all of the Epstein files properly redacted this time. So redacting the names and identifying information of the survivors and unredacting the names and identifying information of the co-conspirators and perpetrators and witnesses. So we worked with the files, we downloaded the files from the Department of Justice website on March 28th and had them, downloaded them, had them printed, bound, and we took about 50 random files, or 50 random volumes. Each volume is about 800 pages. We took them and kind of went through them for quality control and due diligence. And as we went through them, we started finding lots and lots of names of victims and survivors, lots of identifying information, lots of names of folks that really should have been redacted and weren't, and a lot of identifying information that should have been redacted and wasn't. The Department of Justice did do a pretty good job of redacting a lot of that information, and that. Which, by the way, you know, the Epstein Files Transparency Act that was passed last year specifically required the Department of Justice to not redact the names of co-conspirators and perpetrators and witnesses, and the Department of Justice did that anyway, and they broke the law.
Do you think a second drop of all the files will reveal more?
If they're properly redacted and unredacted, what it'll allow for is real transparency, meaning that the press and even the public will be able to go through these documents and come to their own conclusions, and hopefully drive more investigations and, at the end of the day, drive accountability, which is really, I mean, that's the goal. You know, we're a pro-democracy organization. Democracy, you know, one of the necessary components for democracy is that everyone is treated equally under the law. And that means accountability for crimes. And, you know, I think that what is in the interest of all of us, from the survivors and victims to, you know, fathers like me, is that there's accountability for these crimes so that we can be sure that they don't happen again. This has been quite a journey. There's really quite a lot of very talented and creative and dedicated people involved with the organization, mostly freelancers that have come on board. And it was really a collective action and a lot of, like I said, a lot of really creative people. You know, we're just exercising our First Amendment right. I don't think that, and you know, the truth is a pretty good defense. Most people have been overwhelmed when they come in and you see, you know, the weight of all the files. Pardon the pun, but you know, there's 17,000 pounds of evidence in this room of one of the worst, most horrific crimes in American history. And I think people come in and they see the weight of that evidence. They see our tribute to 1,400 survivors and victims, and they think, how is it possible that the Department of Justice has stopped investigating? How is it possible that no one else is going to be held accountable? And so lots of people have left wonderful notes downstairs for the victims and survivors, and lots of people have called their congressmen or called the Department of Justice. What we wanted to do with this timeline was put all of these photos, these famous photos that we've all seen, in real context. So on the top, we have Jeffrey Epstein and all of his allegations and crimes. And at the bottom here, we have Donald Trump and all of his allegations and crimes. You know, both men are convicted felons. And then in the middle here, we have all of the times where the two of them were together. All these famous photos, the famous birthday card. And what we see here is that these two men led remarkably similar lives. It's just one of them is president of the United States and the other one died in prison.